Hello, Slicey Dicers. This is Brian with another knife video for you. Today we have a battle to the death between two knives that are like so hot right now. Yeah, that's a Zoolander reference in a knife video. Only here at Slicey Dicey will you find stupid movie references. Let's get on to what these things are. Up top we have the Lionsteel Roundhead from Collector Knives. Down below we have the Benchmade Proper. Both knives in a very popular, very hot talk of the town category right now, whatever adjective you want to stick in there. These are what I would call modern traditionals, what most people call them, meaning knives with a lot of traditional knife design cues. They look like the old-timey traditionals that your grandpa used to carry, but they're made out of modern materials with modern construction techniques. One is a bit more traditional than the other. Get to that more in the conclusion, but you can tell which one it is by looking at it. So whether that matters to you or not, it's fine. Both come in different versions. The Roundhead comes with a whole bunch of different handles. I'm not even going to try and list all of them, but you have carbon fiber, you have ram's horn. This one and others, there's a bunch of them. This one is the cote wood. This is they call green micarta. I think it's pretty brown, but it also comes in a red handle. Also in the Proper, you can get a sheep's foot blade. On the Lionsteel, you can get another version called the Shuffler, which has a clip point. And I believe there's another one coming out with a sheep's foot blade also. So, but they're different models. Now, the clip point Shuffler, other than that, same handle, just different blade. That may have been a better comparison to this, I will admit. But the reason why there's two of them, first of all, I own these. They're not loaners. So I already had this. So I didn't want to get another clip point, nice high-end slip joint, because I'd have two of basically very similar knives. So I got this one. Secondly, the Shuffler was here and gone before I could get it. So there's that too. I thought about it. I wasn't going to, but I was like, I don't know, maybe. But no, this is different enough. So that's why I chose this one, and I couldn't afford to get both. So that's why. And honestly, thirdly, I guess, it would not have affected the outcome of this review. If I had the clip point, all that would have happened is one of the categories that this knife wins, it would have won by more. From what I hear, I haven't held a Shuffler yet. From what I hear about it, it probably just would have won by more. So that's it. That's the only difference. So don't worry about it. You can pretend this is a Shuffler if you want, because almost everything else I say about it, except for some specific comments about the blade, would apply to the Shuffler the same, and the new sheep's foot thing, one coming out. I can't remember what the name of it is. All right, let's move on to the stats and get right into this. So, well, before we do the stats, let me do the rules. I've done these so many times. I hope you guys know the rules. But the rules are there's 7 categories: aesthetics, quality, blade, ergonomics, carry, value, and deployment. And I will rack up a score, and at the end, we'll pick a winner. All right? And there is a winner in this one. It's not going to be a boring tie. I thought it would be, but there did wind up being a pretty clear winner. Surprised me by how clear it was. All right, let's move on to the stats now. As I teased before, on the Proper, we have pull up my notes here. Overall length of 6.65 inches, blade length of 2.8 inches, blade thickness of 0.09 inches, exactly the same as what you're going to see on the Roundhead. Handle length of 3.8 inches, handle thickness very thin, 0.4 inches, and a weight of 2.3 ounces. So there's your stats for that. And now we have your stats for the Lionsteel. We have page 2. We have a blade length of just a hair under 3 inches, overall length of about 6.8 inches, weight of 2.2 ounces. Handle thickness is 0.46 ounces according to my calipers, and again, 0.09 inch blade thickness. Now, let's get right on to the stuff that matters. Let's get to the scoring. This is going to be fun. So, I will start out just by saying, before it goes into all this, I love both of these, and I have no intentions on getting rid of either of them, because they both have their purposes, and even though they're kind of in that same category, they are actually kind of different. and we'll get into how they are different. So aesthetically, I think these are both damn handsome knives. The Benchmade is obviously a little more understated, but it's kind of weird. This is a less traditional design. This is based off from a 77 Barlow pattern, a very traditional design. The Proper is based off of nothing. It's their own design, but it has more traditional kind of cues to it. It's got, you know, the same kind of flush back you'd expect to see on a traditional. It looks pinned from one side, but it isn't. You can take it apart. That's another great thing about modern traditionals, is most of them you can take apart. That's really cool. I did take this apart and service it the other day, and it was super easy. It was very easy to take apart and work on. The Lionsteel, as I said, a bit more of a traditional look, but it has, everything's all rounded off, and it's a bit, so it's like when you get close, this looks less traditional, but this, and far away, this looks less traditional, if that makes any sense. But when you get up close, yeah, it's, I have to give the aesthetics to this, because to the Lionsteel, it's just damn pretty. This is not a bad looking knife. I really like it, and I've never seen the red G10, but I love micarta. I'm a sucker for micarta, and the micarta on this is great. I love the finish on it and everything, but gotta give the aesthetics to the Lionsteel, especially since it's available in so many different handles. Those ram's horn ones look amazing. I kind of wish I'd have gotten one of those. The carbon fiber ones look great if you want something really modern looking. Very, very cool. And it's got a lot of titanium. I'm a sucker for titanium. And so, yep, I think aesthetically, gotta give it to the Roundhead. Now, quality-wise, this one was really tough. The Lionsteel is extremely well made. But it is a much lower volume knife, and you can see that in a couple little areas. Nothing that bothers me, but, you know, people have complained because sometimes there's gaps here, you know, between the bolsters, the false bolsters, I should say, and the wood. It doesn't bother me, but, you know, it does bother some people. And it's fine. There's nothing, everything is absolutely centered. It's still really great quality. There's nothing wrong with it at all. But the same thing can be said for the Benchmade, the exact same thing. We're just talking quality of construction here. I'm not talking about the materials. That's value that comes later. But the Benchmade is also really well done. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. It's perfectly fine. And I like some of the, I don't really know where to stick these design cue things in, but I do like the fact that this is actually able to be fully taken apart, where the Roundhead is not. You can remove the bolsters and you can remove the handles, and you can adjust the pivot. But once you get those off, this torque screw is not for the pivot. It's just one of the two to remove the bolster. There's another screw inside, but you can't really remove the blade. You have to have like special tools and stuff. So nothing that I want to attempt anyway. So in that way, it's a bit more traditional. In the Benchmade, you have Benchmade's warranty. I think this feels a little bit higher quality in your hand than the Benchmade does, and in one of those unquantifiable ways. But this I can take apart, and it has Benchmade's warranty. I'm going to call it a tie. I went back and forth. I couldn't really decide. Again, this is quality, not the value of it. Okay, so that one is a tie. Now, when it comes to the blade, both these blades, great EDC blades. If you're not doing super heavy duty stuff, the kind of things that most of us do, which is, you know, opening packages, opening dog food bags, you know, some minor food prep and stuff, both of them work perfectly fine. The Roundhead is a bit thinner behind the edge than the Benchmade is, so it is a little bit better. The Benchmade is a little bit better of a slicer, I found. But I'm not going to be doing really heavy, hardcore slicing stuff. You know, the Benchmade also has a heavier duty tip, so it's better for piercing. It's got that nice clip point. Even though this is a little thicker behind the edge, it still works great. That's a common thing with Italian knives for some reason. They always have these rounded, convex edges, and it's just the way it is. But this is freaking M390, and I love M390, and it's amazing they got it in at this price. And the blade works perfectly fine for me, and it's M390 over S30V. I got to give the blade to the Lionsteel Roundhead. Barely. Very slight win, just because it's M390. But I will say, from what I've read about the clip point version of this, the shuffler, it's thinner behind the edge. If this was the clip point shuffler, it would probably just win by more. So that's what I was alluding to earlier. But I am going to give a narrow win for the Roundhead. It would be a much bigger win, probably, from what I've read, if I had the Shuffler, which I do not, sadly. Unless somebody wants to give me one. I've been a good boy this year. Now, ergonomics. The 77 Barlow pattern is great. This is based on the 77 Barlow almost to a fault. This fault being that Benchmade didn't base theirs on anything, and it's a much better ergonomic knife. There's just no way around it. Holding it in your hand, it feels like a proper, proper knife. It feels more modern in your hand. You get a lot. It's got the jimping up here and everything. This feels fine. Nothing wrong with it, but you've got no jimping, and it sticks to that Barlow pattern, which is kind of a thin handle. And yeah, pretty clear win for the proper. Ergonomically, yep, I like this better. Not even close. Now, carry, this is kind of weird. This was a surprise. I didn't know which one was going to win this. They're both lightweight. They're both, in that the 2.2 ounce range. They both kind of mostly you're going to carry them dropped in the bottom of your pocket. And dropped in the bottom of your pocket, there's not much difference. This has a thinner handle. It is taller. Now, if you have the Shuffler, it's almost the same height. But this is obviously a little taller, but it is thinner. If you're just going to drop in the bottom of your pocket, it goes to the proper though. It just for some reason I just don't feel it in my pocket as much. I don't feel either of them very much. I have to think about it, but I feel the proper less. Even though it's a bit taller, it's still really small and it's thinner. And another bonus, the micarta is it can get beat up. It just looks cooler. Where this has the titanium, you got to worry about it scratching. If you put other stuff in your pocket, I don't really worry about that as much with the proper. I'll throw my keys and stuff in next to it. Not often. I don't do it on purpose, but if I do it by accident, I don't freak out about it. Now, here's where it gets kind of weird. So the proper, as you saw, it's taller. So I bought a slip for it. This one from Collector Knives, obviously. This is the large size. This doesn't fit it. So you have to have a pretty big, if you want to put it in a slip case to protect it, because neither of these have pocket clips, you have to get the extra large one. At that point, it's pretty big in your pocket. You have this big chunk of leather in your pocket. It's like a second wallet. So I didn't want to do that. This fits very well in this large size case, and it's awesome. So it's when I want to protect this, super easy choice. This slips right in there. It works great. Where the Benchmade has an advantage is it has a hole in the back. You can put a lanyard on it if you want to. Or what I've been doing with it, that one of my viewers suggested, I bought a suspension clip. This particular one's a Keysmart one, but you can use any of them. And I often carry it with this little ring on the back of it, and it clips to the top of my pocket. That way it doesn't drop into the bottom of my pocket. It doesn't get scratched up. So carry-wise, got to give the advantage to the Benchmade. Now, deployment. That was, I am still kind of new to these slip joint traditional terms, but I'll try and use them. The pull on them is almost exactly the same. They both have, they both have a half stop. They both have the walk and talk is pretty good on both of them. That's old-timey terms for, for opening and closing. I really do like both of them deployment-wise. The one person complained about the backspring being weak on the Roundhead. I don't find that. Yes, you can, push it down, but it's not any weaker than the proper is. Proper is almost exactly the same. And with the Lionsteel, if you have your finger up high and you pull it down, you just get caught, by that little finger choil that they put in there. On the proper, if you push past the half stop, then, that's blade hitting finger. So, but they have half stops. Don't have a problem with the way any of them works. I will say, though, that this is just a bit grittier. This feels, the Lionsteel feels really super smooth. The Benchmade does feel, in just the first part of the travel, just a ever so slightest bit notchy. And I tore it apart and lubed it, and it got better, which is an advantage. You can do that. So that's nice that you're able to do that. But yeah, I'm going to have to give the win for the deployment to the Lionsteel. It's just that much better. It's just that much smoother. I think that their pull and the walk and talk and all that stuff is pretty much even, but this protects your fingers a bit more, and it's just that hair bit smoother. So win to the Lionsteel for that. Now value, our final category, both the same exact price. As I alluded to earlier, and I also used this in the quality thing. Probably should have more used it here, but you get the awesome Benchmade warranty. S30V steel versus M390 and titanium, or S30V and stainless in here. I'm gonna call value a tie only because I had to put somewhere in here to put this as a knock. I didn't know what category to put this as a knock, but it is a big knock for the Lionsteel. They're kind of hard to get. They're easy to get for a limited run knife, and they make multiple runs, but you have to sign up on Collector Knives to be notified of a pre-order, and then you have to pre-order, and it takes a long time to get them, and it's great. We wind up with an exclusive knife, but the fact remains that they are pretty hard to get your hands on. They're not the most difficult thing in the world to get your hands on, but a lot harder to get your hands on than a Benchmade is. You can just go online and buy a proper anytime you want. And it's, value-wise, S30V and stainless versus M390 and titanium, you're getting 80% of the buzzworthiness for the same exact price, and you can get it, when you want. And Benchmade's warranty is awesome. Collector Knives is a great company. I'm sure they're really good about taking care of stuff too, but Benchmade's warranty is legendary. So even though you're getting more bang for the buck, I think, with the M390 and the titanium and the Lionsteel, I'm still going to call it even, just because this is so much easier to get, and you wind up with a big, huge company behind you, so which is known to have an awesome warranty. So I got to call that even, which kind of, I hope that logic makes sense. I'm kind of surprised myself as I say it. I'm like, am I right? Yeah, no, I think I am. I've been thinking about it for a few days now. So here is the final score. I'm going to add it up myself because I didn't add it up on here. Aesthetics. So we have 1, 2, 3 to the Lionsteel. We have 1, 2 to the proper. Everything else was a tie. We had a tie in the other two categories. So 3-2 win for the Roundhead. And again, if this was the shuffle, you'd have the same result. It just would have won one of the categories by more, and I don't score them that way, so it doesn't matter. Both are great knives, though. And I still am going to keep them both, even though this is a win for this. In my heart, it's a tie, because here's how I use them. This, I feel, is very gentlemanly and cool, and I'll carry it and actually use it. I've been using it since I got it, and I'm not ashamed to use it, but this is a bit more durable. It's full mic-hearted, nothing to get scratched up. Again, I know if I break it, I don't have to worry about it. But this is more traditional, so sometimes you want that more traditional look and feel. I'll grab this. This is definitely a more modern traditional. I don't know if you even call this a modern traditional. It's because it's its own design. But yeah, so they both have their purposes. It really depends on what you want. If you just want a nice slip joint that's modern and looks kind of traditional, then go for this. If you want an actual modern interpretation of an actual traditional, get the Roundhead. So that is my conclusion. Lionsteel wins on score, but in my heart, it's a tie. I hope that makes sense to you. I've been Brian. Have a good one.